Hello everybody. Welcome to tonight's stream. Welcome to tonight's awesome broadcast. I'm still working on a name for these. Let us see who is in the chat tonight. Hello again, Brandon. Nice to see you here, Darth Ghostface. Was that Dustin LC guy really in the chat of your last stream earlier? Because I couldn't. Yeah, he was. I could see him. I could see him. Debug could see him. Yeah, we could see him. I don't know why you couldn't. That was weird. Tomorrow I'll be streaming at 5 p.m. What time zone? Nights of Undercover, because I may or may not be able to poke in there. If I can find time in between work to pop in and say hi. But yeah. You may have noticed I now have a simple but small channel intro. I figured it would be a little nice thing to help spice things up, because I finally found an editing software that I have to pay for to use everything on it, edit like long videos and stuff like that. So until I can scrounge up the money for that, I'll probably be able to put together like maybe small clips or something. But yeah, not bad so far. Dustin LC copied my username when he showed up in Star Wars Marvel Pierce chat a couple months ago. I blocked him for that. I think that's why I couldn't see him earlier. Oh, okay then. He must be afraid of you, Den, if he's going to resort to those kind of tactics to hide from you. Yeah, that's got to be the case. That's scummy behavior. Like, honestly, that may actually make him worse than Big Man. And we all know Big Man is very authentic. Well, anyway, tonight I have a couple new videos for you tonight. I'm going to probably keep it short since I've been streaming for the last couple of hours. I had the debate earlier today, which a couple of you tuned in to see. And then there was then I was on Backseaters for Filoni Fridays. Check those out if you haven't already. I'm actually starting to have a lot of fun being part of the Backseat Boys. I don't know why he impersonated me. I did nothing to him. Chances are he probably impersonated you because you trigger him. Because like your mere presence triggers him. Backseater is based. Yes, he is. He's very based. Well, anyway, I think we should start with the shorter of the Sorry about that. Something in my throat. I think we should start with the shorter of the two videos I have tonight. So let us start with welcome to the channel for the very first time, Hi CHD. And his video, The Hate for Ironheart's Show is Stupid. Yes, folks, we actually have an Ironheart defender here. And as far as I'm aware, I don't think he's a paid Disney shill. So, yeah, this guy might actually be trying to either get that sweet, sweet money beforehand, or he's just, that much of a fake Marvel fan. Either way, this is going to be stupid. So let's roll in.
What's going on, everybody?
And of course, he's got a bloody freaking Miles Morales as like his online persona. He even has it down here in his profile picture. Yeah, right here. Very authentic. Because as you know, around here, there's only one Spider-Man. Imagine defending a dog shit show like Ironheart. Imagine using Miles Morales for a profile picture. Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Miles Morales is Miles Morales. Yes, indeed. My stream starts at 5 p.m. UTC 9 time zone tomorrow. Okay, thanks for the info, Knights of Undercover. Anyway, let's dive in.
What's going on, everybody? We're back with another YouTube video. Obviously, if you've seen the title of this video, you know what the subject topic is for today. We're going to
the very fact that he's using the Across the Spider-Verse version of Miles is already giving me is already reminding me of SK, who's another very authentic YouTuber that I've crossed paths with in the past.
be talking a little bit about Ironheart, because despite how good the show looks so far based on what I've seen in the trailers, and make no mistake, I do think the show looks good.
Then you're an idiot with shit taste. I mean, to be fair, you have an Across the Spider-Verse Miles Morales profile picture, so I can already guarantee that your shits are indeed, shit. Because no way is that a good movie at all. Ironheart is not good at all. No, it isn't.
From the practical suits to the interesting premise of combining tech with magic to the interesting looking villain. So while I can't speak for the quality of the show until it comes out, there's really no reason to be hating on this show. Now,
there is plenty of reason to be hating on this show even before it came out, you stupid idiot. Because I covered this on the debate with Debug earlier that Disney has a very poor track record with projects coming out post Endgame. You've got like the only good projects they really had were like 2 hype movies that over time haven't really aged the best, with Spider-Man No Way Home and Deadpool and Wolverine. And then you had Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and that was because of James Gunn. None of that actually had to do with Disney Marvel, really. So my argument, honestly, it's like you can't, not to mention no one liked Ironheart in the comics, and nobody liked her based on how she appeared in War for Wakanda. So already there is a lot of like reason to hate the show off the bat. It stars a not very good character.
I have seen a few rational comments that don't necessarily exemplify hate for Riri getting a show. They just weren't.
Speaking for myself, I have very little interest in the show because of Riri's appearance in Wakanda Forever. I actually like the movie more than most, and you're an idiot. But I thought she was the biggest weakness. The first trailer looked fine, I guess, but it did very little to convince that they're going to be able to redeem a character that I just didn't like. I mean, to be fair, she isn't redeemable in the slightest, and we got proven correct on that, didn't we, chat?
Particularly happy with how Riri was handled in Wakanda Forever. So that has created some skepticism with how they would handle her character moving forward.
God, this suit looks like ass compared to any of the suits Iron Man has. Even the suit, like his nanotech suits, which honestly I think don't look the greatest because, freaking nanotech, they look a lot better than this stupid garbage.
As well as some people that are just straight up not interested, which that is okay. Hell, part of me even agrees with that. Not necessarily that Riri was poorly written, because I don't even think she's poorly written. The main issue is,
if you don't think she's poorly written, then I guarantee you don't even know what bad writing looks like. I don't think bad writing exists in this guy's brain. Like, he can't rationalize anything being terrible. Exactly. She was indeed poorly written. She was poorly written. She's been poorly handled. I don't even think she's done anything prevalent in the Marvel comics. I think after her original series, she's just gone. She's not really doing anything. Please cover the Minecraft movie shields. Maybe later. I'm not the biggest Minecraft fan, so I'm afraid that's a little out of my depth. I'm afraid. Anyway, moving on.
In Wakanda Forever, she's just kind of forgettable. And after her initial introduction, she's basically just a tag-along character until the final battle.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure she was the only thing people remember is her terrible introduction. With her terrible comeback line to Okoye. You need to be conscious about the way that you look line. Ooh, top tier writing right there, folks. Top tier writing. This is the freaking MCU, everybody. Ugh. Okay, let's move on. Oops. Open something I didn't mean to. Let's go.
Which, by the way, they absolutely fumbled that suit. I'm saying all this to say the point of this video is not to antagonize anyone who may not find Riri appealing to them, as appeal is subjective. I'm not making this video to tell you you have to like this character. If you're someone who saw the trailers and just simply said it's not for me and moved on, well, congratulations. I hereby give you the actual grown man award. Because
so in that case, you are then going to say that everybody who doesn't like this show for any other reason that you disagree with is an idiot and therefore shouldn't, be around. I guarantee you that this video is made to defend Ironheart. And I agree with Darth Ghostface. That's exactly the reason why he's making this video. He is trying to defend, Riri, before the show even comes out. Cringe. Yes, it is. This is, in fact, cringe. Okay. Okay, that's still going on about Minecraft. Moving on.
Like an actual grown man, you just saw the trailers and said it's not for me and moved on about your day. You're not harassing Marvel in the Instagram comment sections or spewing racist shit under the actors community page.
Oh, I see. I see what he's going for. He's going for the, if you criticize Marvel or make fun of it, or you say something about the actress, then you're racist or you're harassing a multi-billion-dollar company. Where have we seen this kind of narrative before, chat? Where have we seen this kind of narrative before? I have seen this all. Those comments are not harassment or racist. Facts. Let's keep moving on, shall we?
The point where she had to limit community interactions because these niggas don't know how to act. What I'm gonna say moving.
Wait, did that actually happen? Because I don't remember that happening. I don't remember Riri. Because I remember she was trying to win people over by saying that Robert Downey Jr. gave her his blessing or whatever to shit, as if the actor for a character gets to decide who is a worthy successor or not. Yes, we've seen this with the Acolyte. We've seen this with Kelly Marie Tran, Rose from The Last Jedi, and Moses Ingram from the Kenobi show. It's that type of narrative again. And this is where you know that everything's going to shit. Robert Downey Jr. is a cuck. Yes, he is. Sadly.
Forward applies to those people, not you. Anyways, this video is simply to debunk bad faith criticism surrounding Ironheart and her show that lack any critical thinking whatsoever.
So basically, he's going to attack rational human beings who actually give a shit about Marvel Comics, and he is going to say, you're racist, you're stupid, your criticism doesn't count, blah, 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 blah. And, he's going to call it a day. Okay, I see. Bad faith criticism. Sure. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be all of the most rational thinking stuff I can find.
Starting with the toxic man baby screaming, no one asked for this. Trying to...
I am pretty aware that absolutely nobody asked for an Ironheart show. The same way no one asked for a show about Agatha Harkness. Nobody asked for... we don't ask for a lot of this crap, yet we keep getting it anyway.
Use this as an argument makes absolutely no sense because most media doesn't generally get asked to be made. I don't know about you, but I don't really remember people asking for a Guardians movie to be made, but Marvel made it anyway. Hell, no one asked for an Iron Man movie to be made. They just...
Except in the case of someone like Iron Man, they were popular enough that they warranted having a movie. Iron Man, Iron Man was a pretty, he had a pretty faithful fan base. So it was like, okay, we can make a movie about him. And the Guardians of the Galaxy, was well after the MCU became a huge success. So they're like, okay, let's take a risk with this team that not a whole lot of people use. Here we go again, using Ryan Johnson's favorite insult, man baby. So tiring. Exactly.
About how much potential the character had and decided to give him one. And look how that turned out. And for the people who suddenly became Moon Knight fans overnight in the Instagram comment sections, even though y'all shat on that when it came out as well, I'll go ahead and remind you that no one asked for that show to be made either.
You do know that Moon Knight was shit, right? And was a shit interpretation of one of Marvel's most underrated characters.
And yet here you guys are asking for a season 2.
No, we're not asking for a season 2. No one's asking for a season 2 except the fake fans and the shills. Nobody else is asking for a Moon Knight season 2. I don't want to see more of Oscar Isaac as, Moon Knight. The MCU's Moon Knight show sucked. Yes, it did.
Because the show was good, right? So by this metric, it makes no sense to try and destroy the Ironheart show screaming she's badly written when the show isn't even out yet.
Except Ironheart is a badly written character. She hasn't done well in anything she's been in. Her comic books sucked. Her appearance in Wakanda Forever sucked. It's like you're going in with a character that the audience just does not like. Comic book fans don't like her. Casual audiences don't like her. No one likes her. So obviously you would not want to make a show about her because it's just not going to do well. And again, we got proven right because barely anybody cared about the show. Zebby with Brandon the See Thing strikes again. Lol. I'm not see-thing. I'm just pointing out the damn facts. I don't care about no people's feelings.
Doesn't make any sense. And they're moaning, saying, oh my God, that there's only one Iron Man and she'll never replace RDJ. Like, first off, the show states multiple times that they aren't even trying to do that.
Except they are. She's basically a discount Iron Man. That's all she is. She's Iron Man, but black and a girl. That's it. And on top of that, it's like she has a Stark membership, and I think there was some, I don't know. All I know is she's basically actually she was meant to be a replacement for Spider-Man. Iron Man. Damn it. I'm getting her confused with Miles Morales now, guys. They're all starting to blend together. Ironheart is a selfish criminal who refuses to take responsibility for her actions. She's a villain, not a hero. Exactly. I'd rather watch Iron Man beat the living shit out of her in a comic book, for being a selfish criminal rather than her fighting alongside him. Marvel Studios can't gaslight us. No, they can't.
Just one of the characters continuing Tony Stark's legacy in the MCU. The other two being War Machine and Rescue.
Two characters that Marvel has done shit all with. With War Machine, they've barely done anything with him. And honestly, I don't think many people give a shit about Pepper Potts' Rescue. I'm sorry, but you're just not putting up a good enough argument.
Riri is a legacy character. That's quite literally what she was designed to do.
And it backfired on them because everybody could understand why. She's designed to replace him because diversity box checking, as we all know, is what happened when Marvel launched their all new, all different directive. Dear God.
Which legacy characters have always been a thing since superheroes have existed.
You just gave 3 of the greatest examples of legacy characters, and they all happen to be from DC, you moron. I think it's exceptionally telling that you gave absolutely no examples of Marvel character popular Marvel legacy characters. That is telling. That is extremely telling.
But for some reason that I can't quite put my finger on, whenever it's a black person taking over or continuing the role, it's always controversial somehow.
Bloody, of course. He's going with that narrative. People receive legacy characters really well unless a black person does it. How about the fact that all of these characters that you're showing on screen have horrible writing, were created for this purpose of checking boxes, and literally cannot sell worth a damn? Miles Morales sucks. Soy Wilson sucks, and Ironheart sucks. They are all not worthy of carrying the mantle or continuing the legacy. Dear God. Marvel could have given us a War Machine show instead of an Ironheart show. Exactly.
Taking over or continuing the role, it's always controversial somehow, even when it's an established character, like these people keep saying.
He was already an established character. He did not need to suddenly he was his own character. You didn't need to make him the discount version of a character that already existed. That's what we're trying to get at, you moron.
Like the kid from Iron Man 3 keeps being brought up, saying that he would have been the better option. I mean, I really don't see how, because he was never meant to be a direct successor to Tony.
I think it's just considering the fact that kid probably was written way better than Ironheart ever was. So people are just saying, just make that kid the successor, and he would be way more popular. Here we go, pulling the race card. Exactly. By that metric, he already shot his argument in the foot, and nobody should take him seriously. Because when you start pulling that kind of card, you've already lost. Because no, that race has absolutely nothing to do with it on our part of why these characters suck. Sam Wilson was ruined when Marvel made him tokenize Captain America. Facts.
He was mostly a plot device to help Tony get over his anxiety and help him eventually finish the job as Iron Man. Like, it was clear with the ending of the movie that he was meant to be a one-off character. That's why he never came back, and he mostly passed the lessons he learned with Harley on to Peter, which ultimately just means he just had a thing for helping kids that he saw himself in. Pause. But in no way, shape, or form did that mean they were going to expand on him being a potential Iron Man successor. If we ignore the fact that the MCU and the fandom mostly completely forgot this dude even existed until Endgame and had to Google who he was when he popped up in Stark's funeral, as opposed to the actual established comic book character that existed for 10 years prior to this show coming out.
A character that has absolutely sucked. And thank you for pulling up an image from All New, All Different when Mary Jane was in those books for absolutely no other reason than we needed to get her out of the Amazing Spider-Man books. Thank you for pulling up an image. Thanks for letting us know you're a fake Marvel fan. Hey, Chase Hedge 67, welcome to the stream.
So the anti-wokies crying about this can't even use the DEI hire nonsense. Isn't that?
Yes, we can, basically. Because Ironheart only exists to be a black female version of Iron Man. Just minus everything that people loved about the actual Iron Man. And I love how he says anti-wokies, so you can clearly tell what side of the fence he sits on. So chances are I may actually end up covering this guy a lot more in the future. Ironheart was never loved by Marvel fans in the comics. That's why the sales for her comics did poorly. I should cover that at some point. I need to cover like how badly she did.
And what you guys like to scream, established characters and comic book accuracy. And I already know what the counter is going to be to this. Well, we didn't like her in the comics either. Okay, so then that just makes you a hypocrite. because y'all love to scream about comic book accuracy, but when they do that and actually utilize the source material, now it's, well, I didn't mean it.
No, we want them to utilize the good source material, not the bad. There's good comic books and there's bad comic books. Sure, you can take inspiration from something bad and make it good. I mean, it's extremely hard, but you can. But what you're trying to say that we're hypocrites because we want stuff from the source material, but we want it to be good. See, that in any case is twisting the narrative, essentially. Because Ironheart doesn't even have any good source material. She was never loved in the comics. So you're already building off a terrible foundation.
Like that, well, you have to pick one. Either you want them to take inspiration from the source material or you don't. That's why the people bitching about the Silver Surfer being gender bent pretty much argued themselves into a corner, because they didn't know that the female Silver Surfer was indeed comic book accurate. Now,
I think so many people have already argued that point to death, but since this isn't the topic of the main video, I'm not going to go off on a tangent on it right now. But just to let you know, she was in a one-off mini series that absolutely nobody remembers, and she got killed off after being in the book for 5 panels. So shut the hell up, man. False equivalence, yes. Real Marvel fans never wanted an Ironheart show. Whether it was comic book accurate or not, she's a shitty character. Facts.
Now, granted, not everything that happens in the comics are necessarily good ideas, but who's to say the live action adaptation can't take that idea and make it better, like what they're potentially doing with Riri. We've seen,
which we already have seen was terrible. Oh, and thank you for showcasing gender swapped Ancient One, by the way.
Multiple times how alternate adaptations can adapt comic book characters much better to the point where they become more iconic than their comic book counterparts.
I don't think you wanted to show Miles Morales on screen, dude, because that's a terrible example.
And that brings me to a lot of the weird criticisms I've seen towards Riri in general. The first being that she's bad because they didn't explain why she's a genius, which, I mean, they did if you watch the movie. Again, I do think she was largely forgettable, but saying they didn't establish her character traits is just false. They established her as a gifted student at MIT quite literally from the moment she was introduced.
But explain to us, like, how did she get into MIT? Establish how she managed to get in, I think, is what we're trying to say. The Ironheart show didn't make Riri Williams a good character. Absolutely. I would love to see this guy try and answer it. Actually, did he actually address those criticisms? I don't know if he did. Let me double check. Oh, God. He actually has a follow-up video saying that Ironheart is peak writing. Oh, man, we probably may have to cover that right after this one, folks. Because I think I can squeeze that in. Oh, we are in for a treat tonight. And I accidentally muted myself. Lovely. Okay. And pause. Okay. Back to this stupid video, and then we're going to move on to his other stupid video.
Shuri and Okoye went to retrieve her. Mind you, by this time, she was already designing vibranium scanners for the government, which made her a target in the first place. I mean,
which also kind of showcases how much of a Mary Sue she is if she's literally hired by the government at such a young age. Like, remember when geniuses oft in comic books were like, remember when geniuses were like full-grown adults and not just teenagers? Because I swear, Marvel now has like a dime a dozen of teenage geniuses. Riri probably gone to MIT because of affirmative action. Ironheart is peak writing? Yeah, and I'm the president of the United States. I wish. because you should take up after you should follow up on you should run for president after the current president is up.
They literally fucking show her building her final suit in the movie, and she also helped Shuri brainstorm her plan to incapacitate Namor at the end of the final battle. So
okay, but this doesn't really 100% establish her being a genius. I mean, yeah, she's building tech stuff, but we don't see like how did she come like what is she a genius of, especially?
Her genius was indeed explained in the movie. So no,
it really wasn't. You moron.
She's not a Mary Sue for being able to make a bootleg Iron Man suit. She did that with scavenged parts of technology from her school. You know, kind of similar to what Tony did in a cave with spare Jericho missile parts.
Except Iron Man's suit actually looks like it was pieced together from actual scrap metal. Her suit looks way too clean. It looks way too much like an actual, suit that she had millions of dollars of resources to build. So again, another false equivalence. Mecha G75, welcome to the stream. What did I miss? Oh, you did not miss much. I'm just talking about covering High CHD and his video on the hate for Ironheart show is stupid. And then we're going to follow up on it when he actually tries saying that the show is good.
Remember that, guys? Remember when Andrew Toombs and his gang created a flying metal suit and weapons of mass destruction out of scavenged alien tech despite having no funding at all?
Except the fact that they actually looked like they had to piece all that shit together, and it, like one of their weapons actually fell apart because it fell out of a truck.
Remember when Peter Parker just casually created an insane piece of technology and science just because he was smart like that? And
wait, are you trying to say that the web fluid is freaking technology? Or are you trying to say that the web shooters are like an advanced piece of tech? Because web shooters are not the most technologically advanced gadget in the history of the Marvel Universe, you moron. The hate for Ironheart is 100% valid and justified. Yes, it is.
There didn't really need to be a deeper explanation than that. Yeah, this has been happening throughout Marvel history, fam. Regular people created insane tech without funding all the time. And
you didn't even describe what Peter Parker developed. If you're trying to indicate web fluid or web shooters, hate to break it to you, but web fluid, first of all, Peter himself is classified in the original comics to be something of an expert in biochemistry, and web shooters, and it's established that you can make web fluid with your average chemistry set. So it's not like he's absolutely like needing unique chemicals for the sake of web fluid. And if you want to go ahead and say, oh, well, what about the web shooters? The web shooters themselves aren't the most complex device. It's just a wrist thing with a button that's located in a special area of the palm, and he's got to double tap the trigger so he can shoot the webbing. And he can adjust the spray by twisting the nozzle. So you cannot, by any stretch of the imagination, say that, oh, he's developed, an insane amount of technology. Riri Williams just builds a very high advanced suit out of spare parts, supposedly, even though that shouldn't be the case.
For the people who try to discredit Riri by saying she stole Tony's tech, so that apparently makes her a bad person and unfit to continue Tony's legacy, well, I'll have to point to another character that's being used as a shield to hide behind by certain people on the internet, and that's Rhodey. Because a lot of folks don't seem to remember how he got his suit in the MCU.
Tony let him keep the suit and made him costume and created more suits for him as time went on, because Rhodey was Tony's best friend, and he stole the suit not for personal reasons, but rather for the sake of, obeying the U.S. Army. And on top of that, He doesn't come down to steal the suit. Like, he takes the costume for the sake of putting a stop to Tony's antics in Iron Man 2, if I recall. So once again, you are, you're making a false equivalence.
That is, quite literally, by stealing one of Tony's suits in Iron Man 2, putting it on, proceeding to beat the shit out of a drunkard Tony with it, and flying off. Hell, he's not even the only superhero that does it. Scott Lang's journey to Ant-Man starts by him stealing Hank's suit. Actually, that's his whole character. He practically shrinks down and steals shit from other people practically the entire movie. So this...
Yeah, for the sake of saving, stopping a bad guy from making a super weapon, you moron. And on top of that, Scott Lang isn't presented as a bad person. Is he a thief? Yes, but he's also trying to change. He does try to return the suit. He's not, he's doing this for the sake, and he wants to be with his daughter. Ant-Man, Scott Lang's a good person. Riri isn't. Dear God.
The idea that Riri is unfit to continue the legacy just because she stole the tech in the show is just ridiculous.
No, it has to do with her demeanor and how she feels about stealing tech. Because Rhodey himself felt bad for stealing Tony's technology. In fact, he takes the arc reactor so nobody can tamper with it when they were modifying the Mark II. And again, Scott Lang tried to return the Ant-Man suit, and it was given back to him by Hank after Scott got arrested. Again, yet with Riri, she shows absolutely no remorse for stealing anything.
Like, some of y'all niggas just have bad memory and need to rewatch some of the movies. Y'all saying shit like Riri being unnecessarily arrogant and cocky turns her off to fans, but Tony was almost the same way, and he took 9 films over a decade to grow out of that. Why are we comparing that?
No, I'm pretty sure he kind of grew out of that by like Iron Man 1. The guy was cocky to an extent, yeah, but the guy still knew when to do the right thing. He's still a good person. Also, I don't get what's the bit with these. Is this like the budget for each of these movies? Because that, or how much he got paid? I have no idea. Somebody's gonna have to. Suspension of disbelief can only get you so far. Agreed. Absolutely.
Riri, who has a total of 20 minutes of screen time at the time I'm recording this video.
First impressions are everything. And so far, we're not impressed with Riri. And again, she's built off a very not so great foundation. She's built off a terrible foundation. So right away, you already have a problem. And Marvel's track record has showcased that they cannot write good to save their lives. I'm sorry, but that's true.
Again, it's just insane nitpicking. The final point that I want to make in this video is the whole iconic nonsense and how people are just hyper focused on that.
I want to build something undeniable, something important, iconic. It's a brand new thing.
The weird argument keeps being made that because Riri is building something that was technically already built before, that somehow means she can't be iconic or original on her own, which this logic is dumb. Because
actually, this logic is incredibly on point. I mean, hell, you want to talk about iconic? Miles Morales literally just stole the Spider-Man suit design and changed the colors. That's it. I mean, to be fair, it was technically S.H.I.E.L.D. who did it in the comics because Miles isn't even that original. He can't even make his own damn suit.
You guys should know that there are iconic armors out there like the Iron Patriot, the Iron Spider, Rescue, and War Machine that are all brand new characters.
Is Rescue suit iconic, chat? Because I don't think it is. Iron Man is very iconic. War Machine's pretty iconic. I don't think Rescue is that iconic because I don't see anybody talking about her armor at all. Like, guys, is Rescue's armor that iconic? Because I don't think so. No. Yeah, I agree. I have seen absolutely nobody talk about that armor.
Characters made by using the Iron Man technology and creating something new out of it. Like, multiple people have worn the Iron Patriot and Iron Spider suits in the comics to the point where they've pretty much become their own mantles and identities, basically.
No, they haven't. Like, literally only everyone remembers Norman Osborn for being the Iron Patriot dude. And again, this is just a gimmick. I don't think nobody really talks about Punisher being War Machine.
So the idea that Riri can't somehow do the same thing with Ironheart is a double standard and is inconsistent with what's been shown in Marvel, or any superhero universe for that matter. Take Homelander, for example. He's an extremely iconic character in superhero media now, despite the blueprint of his superhuman abilities being a ripoff of Superman, because it's his character and story beats that make him stand out.
Yeah, but Riri's don't stand out for the right reasons, dude. She's not a good character. She's meant to be a shallow. She's a shallow Tony Stark ripoff. She's not iconic in the slightest.
Riri is unoriginal because she's taking an old idea and making something new. Then by that logic, you might as well just call all fictional characters or concepts unoriginal then.
Batman grew into his own character, idiot.
Because that's how they're created, by taking old concepts and ideas and creating something new out of them.
You really should not put Batwoman there, dude. And I don't think Batwing either.
But these people only like to use the unoriginal character logic as a diss when it's a character they don't like or want to see get prominence.
No, we use this logic when a character is actually unoriginal and we absolutely don't want to see them. Because we want creativity. We want good characters. We want actual superheroes, not villains, which is what Ironheart is.
AKA most of the black people. Because
oh, there we go. He said it again, folks. He said it again. Most of the black people. He's pulling the race card again. That's what, twice, 3 times? Jason Todd's biggest glazer. Welcome to the chat and the channel for the very first time. Holy straw man video. Yes, I agree. AKA most of the black people. Absolutely. Also, if that's the case, then tell me why people like Mr. Terrific or Jon Stewart's Green Lantern. Or even War Machine. Because that shoots down your argument very hard. Like that sinks it.
Even when the character isn't a race swap and they utilize someone that's previously existed, like what they're doing here, there's still endless complaints to be had. Quite put my finger on.
Ah, shoot.
Brain cells just give up trying to understand be had, which is why most people with more than 2.
The complaint there is because you're taking a character that already has an interesting premise, interesting story, and foundation, and then you're throwing that all away for the sake of, putting them and making them be take up a concept that's already happened. Instead of being their own thing, they're instead continuing something that already exists.
Brain cells just give up trying to understand the hater's behavior and just come to the conclusion that they're racist. Because even when they understand the hater's bad, which is why most people with more than 2 brain cells just give up trying to understand the hater's behavior and just come to the conclusion that they're racist.
That people with most brain cells stop trying to figure this out and instead call us racist. Wow. You just showcased that you have the extremely low IQ. Probably the lowest I've ever seen on this channel. And I've covered new rock stars. Because they can't take any criticism of black characters. Agreed. Jon Stewart is an icon. Facts. Nick Fury literally was accepted by the masses, despite Nick Fury originally being white. Bingo. This guy has no brain cells. Agreed. Racism. Question, thoughts, Black Panther. I think he's all right. I'm not like the biggest Black Panther fan. I'm a Spider-Man fan first and foremost, but yeah, I think he's pretty cool. I like his suit from the comics. Anyway, let's continue
because
on.
even when there's logic counteracting all of your nitpicks and criticisms, like in this video.
Guys, was there any logic in this video? Because I don't think there was. If there was, it flew right over my head because I have less than 2 brain cells. Go ahead. Point out where there was any logic in this video, huh? Chat, please. Because I think I'm genuinely struggling here. Nope. Yep. I agree. I don't think there's any logic in this video. Just a lot of stupid arguments and pulling the race card.
I guarantee you're going to see this and still going to choose to blindly hate on it without any rational thought. Again.
Rational thought. Dude, you wouldn't know rational thought if it came and smacked you upside the face.
And that's not to say everyone who dislikes Riri as a character is racist. That just tends to be the case when it comes to the ones overly criticizing her for no reason.
Prove it then, because you haven't. And that is an extremely vague statement. You're saying that, oh, not everybody who hates Riri Williams is a racist, but most people are racist for not liking Riri Williams. I can't deal with these race hustlers and nitpicking. Me neither. No logic detected in this video. I don't see any. If I saw any, I get dumber. This is what comic readers use to defend any shit that MCU does. And this is why people like me exist. To debunk said garbage. No reason. That isn't the case at all. Blonde Film, welcome to the chat. There's like 5 people here. Well, technically 6, but hey, I have loyal followers, and honestly, the views don't matter that much. What matters is me getting the facts out there, and helping tear down the narrative that the shills and the fake fans have built up. Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with a box of scraps.
If you're not interested, don't be interested. Just don't watch the show. Literally, no. So
don't hate on the show. Just don't watch it. If you don't like it, don't watch it. And then you're going to cry, and then you're going to whine and cry racism when the show flops, which it did, since this came out before Ironheart even came out.
No one's going to care. So yeah, anyways, that's going to be it for the video. Let me know what you guys think.
Guys, what did you think of this video? Because I thought it was shit from top to bottom. I thought it was shit from top to bottom. Riri Williams isn't liked because she's a worse rehash of Tony, but she's praised for all of Tony's worst qualities. Racism. No one wants to see prominent black characters as main leads. Yeah, say that to people who wanted to see Finn being the main character of the Disney Star Wars trilogy. Before that sucked. Clowns like this guy would still cry racism when people don't watch a show and leads to it getting canceled. Absolutely. I rate this video a 0 out of 10. I'd rate it a negative infinity out of 10. Oh, my voice, guys. My voice. I'm gonna step away from the mic real quick and grab myself a drink to parch up the throat. So wet my whistle, and I'll be right back. All right, and I'm back. I thought it was a valiant effort as far as admitting stupidity goes. I agree. All right, last one before we jump into the next video. It's one thing I dislike about these black comic tubers. They need to praise anything black despite it not being of quality, and anyone who doesn't accept it for being shit is just an ist. Yeah, I agree. The same shit happened with Miles. Oh, am I also familiar with that? All right, we're moving on to his next Ironheart video, where he actually defends the damn show. How Ironheart proved everyone wrong. Writing breakdown. Let's jump in 3, 2, 1, go.
Episodes now, I can confidently say that this is by far the worst thing Marvel have ever produced in nearly 20 years of MCU history.
Not being undersold. After 3 episodes, this is by far the worst live-action Marvel ever made.
What's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about probably the worst Marvel show in the history of Marvel.
I know about this character, so that's the reason why I'm going to talk about what people have an issue with when it comes to Ironheart and why she's not resonating with anybody. And this is an ongoing issue that I would say, okay, let me just snatch the Band-Aid off.
Liberals, right? What?
So we all know who this is, right? Like, we all know what group of people create these type of characters in general. Narcissism.
Narcissist. 3 is an...
Hey, okay, so I recognize Nerdrotic and Jester Bell. Oh, wait, that was the Amazing Lucas with the backwards cap. I don't recognize... Oh, and that's Greg Owen right there. And already I can see that he is launching a blatant attack on a lot of people with actual common sense. Oh, gods. Oh, good mother of ass. They're not wrong. The fact that even black people hated it says a lot about this. Yes, it does. And I do watch Jester Bell from time to time, and for the most part, she has some pretty good takes so far. Wow, actually smart people he's showing in the first few seconds. This might actually be a decent video because he's actually showing people with freaking brain cells.
Awful human being. She's selfish. She's obsessed with her own fame and legacy, and selfish. She's obsessed with her own fame and
Okay, let's see how he portrays this, okay? Yes, Tony Stark is initially portrayed as a very selfish character. His early actions in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, particularly in the first Iron Man movie, highlight his self-centeredness and arrogance. Particularly in the first Iron Man movie, which indicates that he grows out of it. Oh my God. This guy needs to get a brain transplant and get an actual freaking brain because I don't think he has one.
legacy, and she cheats in school nonstop. She steals constantly. She blackmails.
Yeah, these characters are all likable, by the way, and for the most part, they're pretty likable human beings. And they actually have pretty tragic backstories as to why they are the way they are. So, shut the hell up. The fact that people of color hate it proves it backfired. Does this guy not know what character development is? What? Yeah, I'm saying it. This guy is literally, like, he doesn't understand anything about writing. So how is this supposed to be a writing breakdown if already you don't know how character development works?
They create narcissist characters and confuse it with strength. I don't know why they do that.
Dude, both Doctor Strange and Tony Stark grew out of it.
Every single time, and they think that the more narcissistic you are, the more of an unredeemable bad person when it comes to your ego, the fact that you never get anything wrong.
She did something! Everybody out!
But does she suffer any initial consequences for these actions? No, she does not. She doesn't even get actually injured from this fall, even though she's got literal exposed body parts slamming into the concrete at like 100 miles an hour. Like, look at her. She's
the fact
fine.
that you are constantly
You ought to be a wet splatter on the pavement, man.
victimizing yourself, the fact that you constantly have to belittle somebody else in order for you to be up.
Do you think Tony Stark would be Tony Stark if he wasn't a billionaire? No shade. That's just the way the world works.
Hang on.
Tony Stark if he wasn't a billionaire? No shade. That's just the way.
A statement or action that is not intended to be offensive or disrespectful. Yet it's very clear that that was supposed to be a disrespectful comment saying that Tony Stark wouldn't have gone anywhere if he wasn't rich. Ugh. If I played the drinking game out of this, I'd be dead. Tony would still be Tony without being a billionaire. Laugh my ass off. Yeah, exactly.
The world works.
I don't know why liberals choose this character arc for their characters every fucking time, and they always seem to fail, and they never change course. Why do you do this? It's like they don't understand.
Because liberals themselves are liberals themselves are idiots. That's why. No shade, but you're gay. Lol.
Understand that narcissism is bad, or having an ego, or having no flaws.
Oh my god, he grew out of it, you moron. Stop trying to...
Makes you uninteresting.
They both grew out of it. Damn. This guy is really... man. You can tell that this is already going to be terrible.
I don't get why they do this.
What's going on, guys? We're back with another YouTube video. And well.
It turns out we were right. This show was going to suck. And you, sir... Okay, hang on. Okay. So, if I'm remembering correctly, he said the race car... He used the race card at least twice in the last video. How many times do you think he's going to play the race card this time? Go ahead, guys. Place your bets right now. How many times do you think he's going to play the race card? All right. You know, being rich is a result of being a genius and hard work. Exactly. Seeing Riri isn't bad if you compare her to the beginning arcs of the top character to the MCU. Okay, Jason Todd's biggest glazer with a bet of probably 4 to 5 times. How many cards are in the deck? I don't think he's got that many. I bet 9,000. That's the answer. All right. Going once, going twice. How many bets? I've got 2 bets. I got 4 to 5 times, and I got 9,000 times. All right. Place your bets. Bernard Gruber, welcome to the chat for today. With a little bit of calling out other black YouTubers coons or some shit because they don't agree. Yeah, he's probably going to he's probably going to go after them for some stupid reason.
Ironheart show just ended, and I think it's pretty safe to say that this show was absolutely fucking peak. Even though I do have...
Guys, should I have to roll that back? Like, let that sink in. He thinks that this show is peak. He thinks that Ironheart, one of the worst shows Marvel has ever produced, is peak. I don't think we should show him something like Spectacular Spider-Man, because I'm pretty sure if we did, his brain is going to absolutely spontaneously combust. Like, his head's going to catch fire from watching actual peak Marvel writing.
My issues with this show, I would say I think they did a pretty good job overall with showcasing Riri's.
Oh, I have my issues with the show, but overall, I think they did a good job. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he's going to highlight 0 of the issues he has with this show.
Character, who she is, her motivations, especially certain deals that were made throughout the show.
Please don't remind me that they freaking dragged Mephisto into this.
The promotion of the series had a pretty decent focus on the magical aspects being put into it, and ultimately, after seeing the last 3 episodes, I think going the techno-magical route with her character was definitely the best choice for her. Not only did they utilize these concepts to tie in with her character development, which we'll get to, it was also a great way to offer a refreshing and unique take on the Stark Tech stuff in general.
Yeah, just too bad it's not a good or interesting character that's using techno magic garbage. Ugh.
We know that the most common complaint with a lot of the MCU properties is that a lot of the tech being displayed with the more recent adaptations lacked any real ingenuity. It all pretty much just became more of the same with the nanotech shit. So I can appreciate the fact that they listened to criticism and gave us practical suits along with magical upgrades to switch it up.
Except again, it kind of falls apart because she builds this suit at freaking MIT. She builds this costume at MIT when Tony Stark had to, he built it. Yeah, he built his later suits with like a lot of expenses, but come on. I wonder what issues he had with Ironheart. No, dude, you're not supposed to call them racist. Just because they exclude and demonize anyone with differing viewpoints, questioning their race doesn't make them wrong.
And we actually got a final suit that wasn't fucking booty.
That suit still looks pretty ass.
Let's fucking go. With that being said, there's really no secret that a lot of people wanted this show to fail before it came out.
No, it's not that we wanted it to fail. It's that we knew it was going to fail. Right, guys? Because I'm pretty sure we all predicted it, that this show was going to suck. And we were right. The CGI looks like shit. It looks like shit in a lot of Marvel productions nowadays. I mean, even the Fantastic Four movie, it looks like shit.
Completely asinine criticisms that I debunked in this video if y'all want to check that out.
You mean the supposed debunked video that we absolutely tore apart a few minutes ago? Because that was to utilize some lingo I have picked up from the black community myself, that video was straight up booty cheeks. Am I allowed to use black lingo, guys? Am I allowed to use black lingo? Or am I going to get demonetized or something? Who am I kidding? I'm not even monetized at all. Both for me. From every review I saw, they all said it was okay. I don't know who the hell you watch to think that Ironheart was okay, dude. His issue is less female empowerment. We need another She-Hulk-esque twerking scene to show how she's a strong, independent woman who don't need no man.
But basically, the bulk of these criticisms was that Riri felt generic, derivative, that her being a genius somehow felt forced, and that no one likes her because she's a Mary Sue. Apparently, she doesn't have relatable flaws or experience consequences for her actions, which I am happy to say that this show completely destroyed all of these empty-ass critiques out of the water.
Are you sure about that? Because, reviews and ratings say otherwise. Sorry, dude. I think you are talking out of your ass with this one. You're only allowed to say what you allow yourself to say. CGI overuse inferior. Soundwave superior. It destroyed it, bro. Trust me, bro. Did this guy watch the same show as other people did? I'm going to assume that either he's blind and he's just making crap up, or he was asleep for a vast majority of the show. But because he needs that Disney buck, he needs to praise the living shit out of this.
Because literally right out the gate in the first 10 minutes of the episode, it shows her having to deal with a life-changing consequence for her actions when she's expelled out of her school for selling school projects to other students. So,
right away you have the problem of she's literally doing something bad that she shouldn't be doing. That already puts her on our bad side because she's doing bad things, helping kids cheat. Because I'm pretty sure superheroes are supposed to display good qualities, not bad ones. This is like if Spider-Man was, Peter Parker was selling chemicals on the side for kids to help with their chemistry projects.
No, once these assholes realized they couldn't come at her for being a Mary Sue anymore, they had to switch it up and start finding other reasons to complain about. And
I'm pretty sure the Mary Sue thing stuck, dude. So, good luck with that.
First few minutes of the video, you saw one of the biggest gripes I had with some of these reviewers is that they kept trying to demonize Riri for being selfish and displaying egotistical tendencies at certain points of the show, which I don't understand. Why is this bad? It's called having a character flaw. Never at any point.
But she never grows out of it, nor are these flaws ever directly addressed. This is addressed with Iron Man. It's addressed with so many other actually good characters. They get called out for their flaws, and they have to grow and change as a result. Sure, there are some character flaws that stick, but they know how to deal with it going forward. Many of these grifters don't. I mean, he's a Miles fan. They're known for not accepting anything good and only hand-me-downs. Yeah, I agree. I have had my fair share of battles with Miles Morales shills. Anyone who likes Miles Morales is a fake fan. Warning, warning, malfunction, malfunction. Hang in there, dude. Hang in. Don't fall apart on me. Somebody get a mechanic in here, please. Help Mecha G75.
Does the show state that she's supposed to be some sort of glamorous and humble individual? She's not even really a heroic figure yet. More so a great protagonist than anything else.
She's not a heroic figure yet. Yeah, but she doesn't display any actual good qualities to showcase that she would ever become a heroic character, dude. Like, literally, you just said she gets expelled out of MIT because she's selling school projects. She's helping kids cheat.
Y'all are really trying to go down this selfish route. When Tony started out, he was pretty much the exact same way. And to be honest, to a way worse degree than Riri was.
Dude, you're showing a scene of Tony Stark when he's drunk and when he's dealing with being poisoned by the power source for his arc reactor. Not only that, Tony eventually grew out of it. And it wasn't like nobody addressed it. People did call out Tony for his selfish behavior. And he did showcase heroic qualities. When he found out that, his weapons were being used by terrorists, he has the weapons shut down. He pulls Stark Industries out of the weapons business, and he wants to put a stop to the suffering being caused by his weapons. He personally puts himself in that suit because he considers it his personal responsibility to go ahead and put a stop to the madness. Tony is showcased to have heroic qualities, something that Riri never displays going forward.
Especially in Iron Man 2, his friends had to constantly intervene and bail him out because he was always doing some dumb shit. Not to mention other characters, like was Peter Parker not a little self-centered at first before he became Spider-Man?
Again, he grew out of it after Uncle Ben got capped. You literally, are you seriously trying to, and on top of that, Peter himself it was kind of a bit justified because Peter himself was just shit on by everybody except Uncle Ben and Aunt May. He felt that when he got his spider powers that he didn't feel obligated to help people because no one helped him. It's a character flaw, sure, but it's not one he initially has as a result of he's just born that way. It's a result of how he's been treated by other people. But he learned, with great power comes great responsibility. And they called him out. Bingo. All of these characters got called out.
Where it literally got his uncle killed? Exactly. So people complain when they think she doesn't have flaws, but when she is shown to have flaws, that's a problem too. So it's like you can't win with these people. So
you can't win with us when you're using these type of shit arguments that can easily be torn apart because we're right at the end of the day.
I'm going to go into the reasons why I love Riri's characterization in this personally. When we're introduced to Riri at MIT, we're immediately shown her motivations and why she's even trying to make suits of armor in the first place. She's making suits for similar reasons that Tony was, and that is to make the world a better place. Except this time, instead of just making suits for herself, she wants to create suits that revolutionize safety operations, which on the surface level, you could say is a bit cliche. But once we learn why Riri wants to do this, that is the fact that she felt powerless when her father and best friend Natalie were killed in front of her in a drive-by. All of a sudden, her...
Oh, yeah, this show is totally not utilizing stereotypes, yet the black dad and sister get shot in a, hit and run. That is totally hilarious. She has flaws, but nothing redeemable about her character. Absolutely. If she's supposed to be the hero. Warning, battery leakage. Mecha G75 is just absolutely cannot comprehend this. Bernhard, can you fix him, please? Thank you.
Devotion and extreme attachment to her suits of armor start to make a lot more sense. You can really start to see this trauma manifest because she starts having panic attacks and meltdowns inside the suit whenever she feels like she doesn't have control over the situation. It's a really cool way to show why the Ironheart suit is so important to her. People were already getting mad off the jump that she said Tony Stark really wouldn't be where he is now without his money or resources.
You think Tony Stark would be Tony Stark if he wasn't a billionaire? No shade. It's just the way the world works.
Which I really don't see the issue with what she said, because what she's saying is true.
No, it isn't. Tony Stark would still be a genius without his money or his resources. We've seen before that Tony can create gadgetry out of literally anything. He built a suit of armor out of a box of scraps. He built gadgetry to infiltrate the Madrian's palace in Iron Man 3. He built a lot of different stuff. He showcases that, he's very resourceful. He's able to, think on his feet. He doesn't need money or resources to do what he does. Make the world a better place is very generic motivation. Most heroes have it, but they have more to stand out with their characters. Bingo. Jesus Christ, these effing Miles fans need to be quiet. Absolutely. Are we forgetting when Tony was in the shed in Iron Man 2 with the kid? I think that's Iron Man 3. If I'm being correct, not Iron Man 2. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've seen either.
Tony Stark would not be Iron Man without his financial resources. The only reason he was even able to make his suits in the first place was because he had the money and resources from Stark Industries.
Did you forget the fact that he built the first suit out of freaking box of scraps, you moron? Because it clearly showcases that Tony can build a suit of armor without the resources and the tech. Sure, it may not be as advanced as the armors he has in the movies, but clearly you can tell that he doesn't really need the money or the resources to make his armor.
In his iconic Mark III, which is the baseline of his later suits, is estimated to have cost around tens of millions of dollars to produce. And this clip keeps being played by fans who don't understand this.
Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with a box of scraps.
But first off, it's important to note that the scraps that Tony used to build the Mark I and the arc reactor in that cave was recycled Stark Tech missile and weapon parts, which...
except those still count as parts, dude. They aren't even designed for the sake of being, part of a suit of armor.
goes back to Stark Industries, which is the whole reason he was even in that situation to begin with. He was a big financial leader in the weapons field, not knowing that his weapons were being sold under the table to terrorists.
Because he's a freaking genius. He probably would be in the same position developing weapons for this and becoming a millionaire just with his brain alone. God.
Including the ones that captured him. No money means no Stark Industries, which means he doesn't get captured, which of course means he doesn't become Iron Man.
Except you're forgetting about the fact that he's a genius, and that doesn't figure into the situation at all. The genius would equal money, which would equal getting captured, which would equal him becoming Iron Man. So, suck a fart.
So what Riri said is still correct. While his genius does play a crucial role in how he goes about situations, it's the billions of dollars he possessed that ultimately laid the foundation for his Iron Man journey. He would not be able to do what he's been doing without it. Which, yes, he created the Mark I without his billions of dollars. You want to know what the Mark I also did? Completely tore apart 15 seconds after he escaped that cave.
After he got shot up a bunch of times and literally had missiles launched at him. We even see a close-up shot where they shoot and jam up some of the gear in the side of the suit. So, yeah, shut up.
Without the money and resources to improve it, the suit would not have been usable long term. Even with the arc reactor that he designed in that cave, that wouldn't have lasted him that long without money or resources either, because it was shown in Iron Man 2 that the palladium in the original core was killing him. This man literally had to create a whole new fucking nuclear element in Iron Man 2 to make a self-sustaining one, which he literally would not have been able to do without the money or resources that he had from Stark Industries.
He would be able to get the money and the resources by the fact that he's freaking intelligent, man. God. Yeah, this is my exact reaction, Darth Ghostface. I cannot right now.
This alone shows that the Riri haters and the people grifting off that hate don't really understand Iron Man as a character.
A bit of projection there, moron. You clearly don't understand Iron Man or the character.
She's not saying that it's the money that defines Tony overall. She's saying that in order to achieve the full scale of what she wants to accomplish and that Tony was able to do, she needs money and resources to do that.
Which she probably could if she was an actual smart person and she, didn't break the freaking law countless times.
I don't get why that's so hard for people to understand. It's also important to note here that even though she tries to use Tony Stark to make her point, she still gets called out for her mistakes by the principal and still gets expelled for violating the rules. So off the gate, the whole point here is to establish a lesson here that Riri has to learn throughout the course of the show. That trying to take shortcuts through shady means, while it is understandable, the show makes it very clear that it was still wrong of her to do.
Except then they have her make a literal freaking deal with the devil, meaning that she learned jack shit.
Deciding to work with criminals to make fast money did help her in quite a bit of ways, especially when it came to improving her tech, but it also recklessly put herself and her family at risk. The show directly critiques her for doing this through the people around her, including her mom, Ezekiel, when she ends up screwing him over, and even her Natalie AI. All the people around her are holding her accountable for making dumb decisions, which is something I like.
But she never learns from it. She just goes on and still continues making the same damn mistakes. Downplaying Tony's intelligence, resourcefulness is insane. Lol. Okay, guys, can you knock off? The bit was funny for like a few minutes, but I think you're kind of dragging it out a bit. So I'm going to need you to cut this little play short. Let's move on.
The plot twist at the end where she decides to make the deal with Mephisto was really cool and I think completely fits her character. Now, it was...
So you think it fits her character, which indicates that she's a terrible human being and that we shouldn't like her character. Got it. Bingo. Good to know. Nice to know I don't have to actually like this damn character because she's never going to change.
It's insanely stupid because it's 100% going to bite her in the ass later, but it makes sense. Especially with the Natalie robot, it's shown that she never really got over her trauma with Natalie, and Mephisto, being a master manipulator, takes complete advantage of this. There's a weird complaint going around that because she's a genius, the idea that she makes decisions like this doesn't make any sense. But it does make sense. She's young and inexperienced and does.
But they want to present her as a genius who's always in the right. So they want her to, make a deal with the devil and yet make sure it comes out all right. And I guarantee you, somehow it's going to work out. She's somehow going to get what she wants.
Doesn't have a full grasp of how the world works. It's called a character arc. And even older characters like Tony made dumb decisions with disastrous consequences from time to time, like creating Ultron in Avengers 2.
Which was also the fault of Bruce Banner. And again, Tony could not foresee that Ultron was going to be evil.
Everyone around him told him not to. Or how about when he revealed his whole fucking address on national TV and opened the door for the Mandarin to destroy his entire operation at his mansion, and not to mention Pepper and himself was almost fucking killed because of him doing that.
Because he wanted to put a stop to the Mandarin, dude.
Or when Peter and Ned in Spider-Man Homecoming hacked their suit without Tony's knowledge, took a nuclear alien core to Washington, D.C. and almost got all the students there killed in an elevator. Yeah,
okay, yeah, that's them being stupid. I'm not going to defend that. That's bad. That's poor writing.
A genius doesn't stop you from being human. Humans in general make dumb decisions all the time, no matter what caliber of intelligence you're on. So this critique doesn't make sense. Yeah, okay.
So you are basically willing to admit that your entire channel is a mistake then? And that you just keep making every dumbass decision every time you open your damn mouth? Because that's the vibe I'm getting.
Can't say that Riri doesn't have flaws, but when they intentionally showcase flaws in her decision making, you complain somehow that is dumb and doesn't make sense. She isn't going to make the right decisions all the time. That's how characters work.
She never makes any right decisions in the entire course of this show.
After all, if she did get everything exactly right, guess what? Y'all would be calling her a Mary Sue. It also makes sense.
She is a Mary Sue, though.
Ezekiel Staines character and why I love him in this. From what I've seen in his character in like some of the comics and other adaptations.
What the shit is this? That looks like shit.
He's okay. He's a deranged mad scientist obsessed with being better than Stark. While here in Ironheart, when we initially see him, he doesn't want to have anything to do with Stark or his dad at all. The dude is just a clumsy average Joe who really just wants to live his life.
So basically, he's nothing like the actual character from the comics except the name only. Got it. Thanks for letting us know that they did a shit job.
While he starts off as an on and off ally of sorts, even, with Riri teaching him how to have a backbone, which is actually used against her later, it's ultimately Riri's actions that led to Stain becoming an antagonist in the show. The fact that she screwed up working with Parker and the criminals led to his life being screwed over because of her mistakes. And even then, you could tell that the gentler side was still in there when he decided not to kill her on Parker's orders. And speaking of Parker, let's talk about him. His performance as the Hood was absolutely stellar in this. I had no clue who the fuck the Hood was going into this, but
okay, nice to know that you aren't the type of big Marvel fan you would claim to be.
But now I am definitely a fan. Parker Robbins in this is sort of a dark parallel to Riri in the sense. Like, he wants respect in the same way that she does, but he's willing to do much worse to get what he wants.
Dude, Ironheart is willing to partner up with criminals and has absolutely no problem with the concept of murder. Shut up.
And that his desire for respect mainly comes from him being cast out by his dad, which kind of leads him down a path of revenge against him and people like him. So it's kind of like a distorted Robin Hood, where he's stealing from these people and sharing it with his family, pretending like it's for a noble cause, when in reality, he's really only benefiting himself. And due to his distorted perception of the world, he falls deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole to the point where he literally becomes a vampire monster in the final fight with Riri.
Is that anything like how he is in the comics? Because I doubt it. I didn't have to watch the show to know that this show was going to be pathetically boring and bad. Double AA, welcome to the comics. I mean, welcome to the chat. Damn it. This suit looked like an iron alien or something like that. Hey, Zod, back off on Mecha G75, all right? Thank you.
It's a nice little allegory that revenge tends to lead people down a dark path that most of the time they can't come back from. So, Parker's crew is an amazing addition to the plot of the season.
Oh, including the drag queen? Oh, nice to know you're an idiot.
Yeah, on some real shit though, outside of the heist, I did find the crew to be kind of lackluster with the exception of Slug having a...
Oh, of course. The exception being the freaking drag queen. Thank you. Of course, the drag queen is the exception to the rule. Question, would you be okay if a Spidey show would change Electro's backstory? Because his is pretty boring, especially in TASM 2. Yeah. They've done it before, and they've done it a lot better in something like Spectacular Spider-Man. So, yeah, I'm not against changes for the better. The It Queen. Yes, yes. Slug is authentic. He is authentic. Crickets. What great timing.
Few moments at times. They were background characters that were really just there to serve a purpose and move the heist stuff forward more than anything else, but that's pretty much about it. I think the main issue with most of the crew is that they lack depth, which they're background characters, so really this is me nitpicking, but with them working as a team and how much Parker puts focus on the family aspect that they had, I think it would have been cool to see their lives outside of the heist missions or even before they met Parker to characterize them a little bit more.
I'm guaranteed that would probably just serve as dumb padding that would add nothing to the show.
Like, we do get snippets of information here and there, but it's really touch and go information that's kind of cheap and isn't really expanded on in the story at all. This is what I mean. I feel like the main squad could have used a lot more fleshing out. Another criticism I have with the show is that the dialogue sometimes feels way too bland and straight up unimaginative to the point where certain scenes just feel dragged out at times. This was an issue I had with Captain America Brave New World, but it seems like recently Marvel 40% of the time just forgets how to write interesting dialogue. Like, I'm not
more like 99% of the time, if not 100% of the time. Most people are fine with improvements from the source. It happened when Mr. Freeze. Bingo. Yasin, welcome to the chat. Love your profile pic, by the way. Lego Darth Vader, classic Vader. This show brings nothing to the MCU. Literally no impact whatsoever.
Fucking with you, the scenes when Riri's interacting with the kid are a lot more entertaining than her conversations with most of the side characters. So it's like, I know they could put more flair in their dialogue, they just don't for some reason. The dynamic between Riri and Natalie's brother was entertaining and heartwarming to watch. The chemistry and acting between them was great, and it seemed like they were setting him up as some sort of romantic interest for Riri. The thing is, by the end of the show, it just kind of felt wasted because it didn't really have any payoff.
Of course, they probably were going to either save that for a season 2 or we're never going to come back to it ever because Riri Williams is a strong, independent woman who don't need no man.
Surprised they didn't kiss with how much time they were focusing on their relationship. Hell, I wouldn't have even minded if they killed him off or hurt him in some way. It would have been another cool way.
Of course, it's always the guy who gets it, huh? Never the woman, huh?
To showcase someone being important to Riri getting caught up in her bad decision making. Anyways, the final points I want to make in this video is Mephisto.
Oh, here we go. The big cheese, the guy himself, Mephisto, the guy that got thrown in for the sake of, trying to, oh boy. Flair, what does he mean, Flair? More ghetto or hood? I don't know, man. I'm not very well versed in that kind of lingo, so I wouldn't know.
Casting and dialogue for him was absolute gold.
They say that time heals all wounds, but that's bollocks. Pain, it never goes away. It festers, and it hardens. I can fix that.
Yeah, that nigga was fucking spooky, bro. But anyways, details like the spoon showing his true reflection was a nice touch. And
No, guys, he was red. Red. That's red. He turned red. God, these guys. A useless Easter egg and cameo character. Bingo. It's just nostalgia bait, and he fell for it hook, line, and sinker.
his relationship with Parker and how he used him just to completely abandon him at the end completely encapsulates Mephisto as a character. It seems to even be implied that he was the one controlling the Natalie AI from the jump, which put her on the path to meeting him in the first place. So yeah, that dude was making moves from the start. But yeah, other than that, there's not really much to say about him, but he had a pretty strong debut in this show, man. So overall here,
the fact he debuted in this show at all is a problem.
My concluding thoughts on the show. With the pros, I think Riri's characterization was well done. The practical suits, elements, and magical aspects were very entertaining to see. Ezekiel's characterization was great. The Hood villain was outstanding, and Fisto's debut leaves me wanting more. However, Parker's crew was definitely underdeveloped and could have used a lot more fleshing out. Not to mention the dialogue in general at times just wasn't great and left a lot to be desired. There were also a few wasted elements in the show that would have been much more fun if they had been given some sort of payoff, which there might be a season 2, I don't know, but my point still stands. So
oh God, he definitely wants a season 2, chat. That's going to be a problem. He Vadered! He Vadered! Oh, we got some red in the chat. And I thought in No Way Home had key jingling. I don't want a Spidey X Mephisto story in the MCU. Oh, I guarantee you they're probably going to do that. What a bloody effing chill. One more day go burr. Someone should inform Mr. Grizzy about this guy. I'll probably let him know on his next stream about him. I'll let him know. Thanks for the suggestion, Darth Ghostface. Okay. Looks like everybody is caught up in the chat. Let's go.
End of the day, the show was pretty good, though my personal rating for the show would sit somewhere in between a 7.5 and an 8 out of 10. It's definitely one of the
that is way too bloody freaking high for one of the worst Marvel projects ever put out.
Better Marvel shows to come out, and definitely proved a lot of the haters wrong and made Riri a lot more of an interesting character than.
Did it? Then why did the show flop then, huh? Why did the show flop?
What a lot of people thought they could do with her. I'm seeing on the internet that most YouTubers are still calling the show trash, but to be honest, it really just seems like most of it is bad faith, given that the show was judged preemptively before it even came out.
Okay, so he didn't pull the race card so far. We've only got like a minute left, but now he's just saying that they're arguing in bad faith when it's like, again, Jorge Lucas, 7 out of 10. Pow! Ironheart is a 0 out of 10. He is worthy nominee for Shill of the Week. I agree. Why couldn't they give her comic suit? Even 2017 had it. Because her comic suit is also shit. Oh my. Well, I'm not holding my breath.
Said, I do think it's a good show. Do I think it's a masterpiece? No, and I definitely think there are valid critiques and criticisms to be had, but
and I'm pretty sure all of those criticisms are going to be your criticisms. Otherwise, we're racist for not liking the show, huh? Or we're arguing in bad faith.
To crucify Riri for having character flaws isn't one of them. Riri isn't Tony. She isn't trying to be Tony. And
yet that is exactly what Marvel is trying to make her be, you moron.
That is fine. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for the video. Let me know what you guys.
Okay, let me know what you thought of his video in the chat, guys, because I thought that was frankly awful. That was garbage. What's your fave? His criticisms of Ironheart is pathetic. Absolutely. They were indeed pathetic. Pathetic. Okay, guys, I've got one last video for you tonight because we are an hour and a half into the stream. Gonna need a brack tank shower after this. I haven't watched Ironheart yet. Should I, guys? Absolutely freaking not. Do not watch the show. It is garbage. For the stupid shields or turrets, how can it be racist if Black Panther was great in the first movie? Make it make sense. They can't because they don't have any common sense to begin with. Okay, last video covering them for the last time, covering them once more. Please welcome the Sexplaineds, everybody. Star Wars Sexplained. And their video, What We Wish Was Canon from Lego Star Wars. This is going to hurt. It was poor. He barely goes over Riri's good traits and why people should care. He only highlights her flaws and says this makes her a good character when just having flaws doesn't improve her. Absolutely. Bingo. Thank you, Jason Todd's biggest glazer. Oh, no! Not them! Oh, gods, not Star Wars Explained. The Sexplaineds. Alex with the bloody freaking shorts. Molly with his man legs. Oh, you're right. She does look like she has the same legs as him. And she's wearing a freaking Young Jedi Adventure shirt. Oh, God. She's wearing a shirt based on a show aimed at preschoolers. Disgusting. Anyway, let's dive in. I don't think we're going to cover like the whole damn thing. Oh, bloody. I think I'll just cover like the first section of this and then maybe Kenobi season 2.
Before anyone else could do it, because that's my job.
Ooh, I identify a lot with Lord Business.
I don't even know what that meme is from.
I don't either. I've seen that image so many times, and I'm like, I don't even know what this is.
From.
I
don't. Okay. I don't have anything to say about that meme.
Times, and I'm like, I don't even know what this is. What's up, everyone, and welcome to Last Week in Star Wars. I'm Alex.
I'm Molly.
We're still in a bit of a lull as far as Star Wars news goes, but there was some fun Lego Star Wars talk that came out this past week. We're gearing up for Rebuild the Galaxy Part 2.
Oh, God, don't zoom in on her touching Baby Yoda, please. Molly has more muscle tone on her manly legs than Soy Splained. The highest paid Disney Star Wars show is on Disney Circus Films Pocket. Cringe. Then I watch Star Wars Droids EU show. Oh, God, the main event is here. They don't know that meme? Gap alert! Molly thinks she's hot stuff. I wish Rebuild the Galaxy would at best reboot so hard that Lego can break free from the bullshit.
In September.
Sorry, I'm obsessed. He's so cute.
Is this cuter than standard Grogu?
I don't know. What do you mean? Oh, is Lego Grogu cuter than standard? No, I don't think so.
Oh, God, just get to the damn point!
So,
but still cute.
I'm just so used to seeing the other, like, slightly larger Lego Grogu, so this one's just even teensier.
Yeah, I bet you can shove them up your legs on a Saturday night. I know what the Sexplaineds are doing on their Saturday nights, chat. Molly only likes Star Wars if it has cute, stupid characters. Exactly. And if they're, representing wokeness or some crap like that.
Speaking of not having news to talk about.
Right. But we got our first look at the new villain of Season 2 of Rebuild the Galaxy. His name is Solitis.
I was saying...
What the hell is even Rebuild the Galaxy? Because it just looks, again, not like Star Wars. By the way, should I watch Echoes of the Show, guys? Is this a no? Do not watch that show either. No, do not watch that show. What did I just watch? I really do not know. I wish I could tell you.
In my head, I was saying Solitis.
Solitis. I admit, yeah, sure.
Like,
I think Solitis sounds a little more sinister.
I think.
Oh God,
Solitis
just
sounds like a disease.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, Solitis is like having a soul is a disease. Which
I
is
like that.
a good start for an evil villain.
Okay, you've won me over. Solitis it is. The star of Rebuild the Galaxy, Gaten Matarazzo, said, I think I would describe Solitis kind of differently from the first season's villain arc, where Dev is presented as the big bad from the beginning, because there really isn't a tug of war between the good and the light with Solitis. It really is just a pure evil force whose main desire is control and order and completely sterilizing the fun that can be brought to the Star Wars universe and also the world of Lego Star Wars.
Congratulations, you just described the literal frickin' Sith, you moron.
There's so much creativity involved with the world that can be built in the sets. So not only does it go to the extent of wanting Lego sets to be built in a very specific way, but also just having them boxed up entirely.
Wait, what was the part about taking the fun out?
It really is just a pure evil force whose main desire is control and order and completely sterilizing the fun that can be brought to the Star Wars universe.
Oh my God, it's like...
Hang on. Basically, any MCU content post Phase 3 has been shit. I agree. I only watched Daredevil Born Again. I wish you did not. God have mercy on your soul. Not you banging your head in a big... Yeah, that's me. That was me hitting my head with a book, man. I cannot... Was that the Sexplaineds dog in the background? No, that's me hitting my head with a book because of how stupid this is. I want to see Sexplained gain 200 pounds and transform into fats. Okay, that's hilarious. I've seen Rebuild the Galaxy and erase the Disney canon, but at what cost? Did it? Really? Did it seriously do that? Sounds like the Empire. Yeah, it does. This is just so stupid.
Like online fandom.
Right.
Okay. Molly Damon taking shots at the Gatekeepers Alliance for, safeguarding the fandom, doing our part, saving the fandom by taking down one fake fan, one shill at a time. Of course.
Yeah, I thought this was interesting, just diving into what evil looks like specifically in the Lego Star Wars universe. And
I'm pretty sure it would look like the exact same type of evil we see in the normal Star Wars universe. Considering, Palpatine was a literal evil force. God, I may not even finish like this entire section. I may just skip over to the Kenobi Season 2 garbage. Shots fired. I thought I heard their dog panting. I actually don't know. I didn't hear it.
Reminds me a lot of the Lego movie that I liked a lot of, things have to be built a specific way, diving into, the Empire and the Sith. They all claim they want order in the midst of chaos.
Right.
This is an interesting spin on that, as if...
Congratulations, they're ripping off the Lego movie. Guys, just go watch the Lego movie instead and don't watch the sequel.
They can put all of these Lego sets back in the box or something.
Yeah, the key is they want control, not necessarily order. They want to be able to control the order.
And kind of stamp down on creativity, I would say.
But yeah, like the idea of the dark side and things being evil for Lego Star Wars, you got to lighten it up a little bit. And
Whoa. No, seriously, they actually replaced the Disney canon with something worse. What is worse than Disney Star Wars? Nothing can be worse than Disney Star Wars, Mecha G75. You have to go more in depth on this. Molly Damon is not a Star Wars fan. She's an SJW activist who needs to be gate-kept out of the Star Wars fandom. And that's why I exist. That's why people like me are here. It's amazing that they can talk about nothing for over 30 minutes. Yeah, it's exceptional. Yeah, this is beyond staggering that they can just make all of these kind of videos and talk about nothing. You do not compare this to the Lego movie. Agreed. What the fudge did Molly just say? What she said? It's Disney. It can always get worse. 3 words. Jedi Cad Bang. Okay, so it's basically even worse fan fiction. Got it. Thank you for letting me know.
I love, just making the idea that the villains of Lego Star Wars just want to stamp out all the fun that everyone could potentially be having.
It also reminds me of the Lego Movie 2, where the kid who was playing with the Legos is grown up, so everything is like dark and gritty now,
Right.
and very serious.
Mhm.
And
we're playing with UCS Legos now. Except, no, you don't play with those.
yeah, I mean, that's me. That's like the first Lego.
The Lego Movie 2 was not that good, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I'm okay. Their last week in canon, bullcrap is just going over to comics. I already went over Yaddle over in the Backseat Boys. Go check that out if you want to go over there. What the fudge are you? You look... These guys look more like something out of Halo than they do in actual Star Wars. Ugh. Anyway, I'm just going to jump over to Kenobi Season 2 because I'm tired and I want to go, I want to go vent by playing some Hitman World of Assassination. Disney already stamped out all the fun in Star Wars. I haven't seen the Lego movie. You should at some point. It's really good. It was like before the people who wrote that movie went ahead and lost their freaking shit and wrote the Spider-Verse movies. What the hell is even that? I wish I knew. We don't need a season 2 of Jake Kenobi. No, we don't.
Had a big like what if across the cover or something to signify like this isn't canon. It's just a fun, cool story. The Kenobi season 2 rumors, which honestly I hadn't even heard as a thing until
okay, I've seen people clowning on Star Wars Daily, dropping facts in his tweets. I've done a couple as well. These other guys I don't really know about. But how freaking boring does, like, you can tell that geek culture has just been so corporatized that you have literal like Twitter channels and stuff like that are just dedicated to covering news about specific subjects. It's like you just live to report on almost nothing now. Like, it's no longer like, hey guys, did you hear the rumors that there might be a show about a famous comic book character? Back when comic books were more niche. I miss those days. And I didn't even really live through most of those days. Nothing that Disney makes is canon. Facts. The Kenobi show is my most hated show ever. Even the Acolyte pales in comparison. I'm going to go now. I'll chat later. That's enough stupid for one day. Okay, bye, Mecha G75. See you next time. Mecha G75 couldn't reach his limit, folks, but we must press on.
when we were doing our Lego stream.
Well, you're not on social media.
Yeah.
So you didn't see.
But I mean, have you been seeing
the
rumors
buzz
swirling around?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so she's on social media. He isn't. So basically, any of the dumb shit that's being done on the Star Wars Sexplained Twitter is her damn fault, not his. Which basically means she wears the pants in the relationship, I guess. Captain Phoebus, welcome to the stream. It's been a while. It's no longer for geeks. It's made for freaks now. What will they tell in season 2? They can't do anything except steal from the EU because Jake Kenobi can't do anything else on Tatooine. Absolutely.
Okay. I looked into it a little bit, and I think that this is all kind of coming. I saw some leaker was bringing stuff back up saying that season 2 is in development, which could mean anything.
Uh-huh.
But I did go back to October of 2024 and at LA Comic-Con. Ewan McGregor did say, obviously between the end of Obi-Wan Kenobi and when Alec Guinness is Obi-Wan Kenobi, there's got to be another few stories in there. We're definitely hoping Orwell exploring that, I think would be the word to say.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think that there is a level of development for Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2, but I would not that I feel like people place a lot of importance on that word, or more importance than needs to be.
Okay, I'm going to say this here. I don't know if this is going to be a controversial opinion or not. I do think that Molly is the one who's holding Alex down. I think that if we can separate him, Alex, from Molly, we might be able to, save him. We might be able to turn him against Disney Star Wars, because he definitely does seem to have a bit more brain cells than his wife. Because he actually, he isn't immediately jumping on this saying that a Kenobi season 2 is confirmed. He's actually sort of like, I wouldn't necessarily trust that just yet. Holy cow, I miss out. Welcome, Bobby, to the stream. Every time I come in the kitchen, you in the kitchen in the goddamn refrigerator eating up all the food. What? Laughed my ass off. It's already broken canon when Jake Kenobi left Tatooine. Major lore breaking. Jason Todd's biggest glazer. It was funny how so many Disney shills were coping, saying it takes place before the web comics. I didn't even know there were freaking web comics. What the hell would they even be about? Does Darth Ghostface know what happened on Backseater's stream last couple of days? I don't think so. Yeah, but the hashtag Doggate is keeping him locked. Okay, he does. It's too late for Alex. He can't be saved from the Disney Matrix. I hope Asharad Het won't be on the show. Me neither. Molly has Alex by his testicles and butthole. We reveal a revelation. You want to see it for yourself? I'm going to assume that you are talking to Darth Ghostface when you're saying that, Justin Aravallo. We need to hashtag rescue the Sexplaineds dog. I think we also need to save Alex while we're at it.
Development could just mean we're talking about it, we're exploring it. It doesn't mean it's definitely happening or in production or anything like that.
Yeah, and I would assume if this were to happen, Ewan would be heavily involved.
Yes.
So
because he is a freaking sellout. That's why.
I guess as well as anyone else. So yeah, this just sounds like old news being recycled, which happens a lot.
Yeah, especially when stuff is slow and people just want to drum up something.
Yeah, normally.
And why the fuck? I mean, you guys are kind of doing the same thing, because you're dragging out literally nothing across the course of 30 freaking minutes.
This will start from like leakers or scoopers or whatever you want to call them, and then it'll get picked up by all the like blue check mark Twitter accounts who are just trying to make money by getting their posts to go viral, and then that's what gets shared by everyone. It's like something like that gets tweeted, and then it gets like 1,000 retweets, and then people will just come across it and see it and believe it.
Yeah, that's what gets me, is that just people assume it's true now. And
because all of you shills are freaking stupid. That's why.
I was like, what are people even talking about? I mean, I keep an eye on the Star Wars Leaks subreddit, because they actually seemed like they weren't talking about this at all.
You're freaking following a Reddit? Seriously? I don't think that's where you want to be getting your stuff from, dude. Sexplained was probably a Star Wars fan, but he sold his ass to Disney. Alex Hammond can't be saved. He's beyond help. The webcomics were about Kenobi on Tatooine, which is pretty much just the Kenobi show, but unlike the show, didn't have any Sith in the story since he was hidden. Hashtag Doggate. Okay, there's that. They just ignore it like the rest of the fan base ignores anything that isn't a TV show. The fact that he knows the EU and knows it was canon just goes to show he's a sellout.
And so to me, that says, okay, this isn't anything new. I still don't know who the source is, so it's probably not a legitimate source.
Yeah. I would say, yeah, if it's not on Star Wars Leaks subreddit, or if it's not being commented on by like Hollywood Reporter, Variety, places like that, I wouldn't give it much thought.
That's when I googled like Kenobi season 2 rumors.
Then why are you freaking talking about it then? If it's not something that really warrants talking about, then don't talk about it, I guess. No, don't talk about it, period. Leftoids like Molly are still big mad that Elon Musk took away their precious legacy blue check marks on X. Reddit is a cesspool of SJWs. Facts. By the way, have a good night, guys. It's already 9:24 p.m. Thank you. Thanks for coming to the stream, Justin Aravello. See you next time. Alex can't be saved. Variety? From Variety? Laugh my effing ass off. Stupid idiots. Did you like Superman? I have not even seen it yet. So I can't really give it. I'm kind of not sure what to think. I'm just going to wait for it to come to streaming because it's like I've heard bad stuff. I've heard good stuff. It's all over the damn place.
Forbes.com article popped up that referenced that LA Comic-Con thing. So I'm like, okay, yeah, there's probably an element of truth to their talking about potential ideas, but if this is going to be a thing, we're not seeing it anytime soon.
Yeah. And I think the bigger issue here is when old news like this gets recycled and brought up again and again, it just kind of like sets up these expectations for the people that believe the rumors. They're like, all right, great, we're getting Obi-Wan season 2, and they go about their day, and then when they find out that's not happening, they're like, oh man, Star Wars just can't get anything right, can they?
Yeah, and that's just even when Hollywood Reporter or Variety or anyone talks about stuff like that, I'm still like, okay, but I'll wait for the
started at
StarWars.com
17:19.
Yeah, I mean, there's
and you dragged us out to 23
news articles
57
that come
seconds
out by places like Hollywood.
Oh dear God, you're just talking about nothing now. I'm just gonna skip ahead, guys. They're talking about absolutely freaking all. Okay, I've already covered the Yaddle stuff on Backseater, so I don't really need to talk about that. Okay. Superman is okay. It's not incredible, and Superman is kind of whiny. Superman is okay. It's a passable movie, but it's a lot more respectful to the character. I have zero interest in watching James Gunn's Superman. The Lex Luthor was probably the best thing of the film. His hatred was handled pretty well. Real Star Wars fans don't want another season of that disgrace of a show. Nope. My IQ dropped by 15 by watching them. Yes, please skip ahead of this torture. Okay, I'm going to cover their, last week in canon bullshit, and then we're going to close the stream. Okay, guys?
Read at times just because knowing what happens between Dooku and Yaddle and how, I guess, but like, there's a lot of Yaddle just kind of simply save him.
Stop yapping about
Yaddle.
Yaddle.
Written to be extra tragic. I mean, they even show it in the first pages of the comic
of Tales of the Jedi. So Yaddle dies.
Yeah,
and it's super.
Was if you were a bit, it would be funny if you've just like stuck to Star Wars comics only for years, and you're like, huh?
Yeah, there's a particular frame, and I don't know if this was the meme.
So many shoot Code Smart, and this she is definitely giving Burns out. The turns out to came out was Codebreaker issue 2, and I'm like, I don't even know what this is. The second comic that came out was Codebreaker issue 2. In this one, Poe is trying to gain control.
Oh, the sequels. We're jumping into the Disney trilogy, folks. We're jumping into this. This isn't speculation. This is Alex and Molly wasting time on BS. Uh-oh, we got a triggered itch in the chat. Dark Ghostface, you know the protocol. Take care of him as you see fit. Triggered chill in the chat. Triggered. Dark Ghostface, you know what to do. I expect you to follow Imperial protocol.
Of a code-breaking device that the First Order has been using. Turns out that device is actually just a very smart child named Cheka. So the two of them are trying.
Oh my god, he has the literal fucking same implant that a Lobot does. No. This is the Disney trilogy. I was going to say for a second that this was going to turn out to be Lobot.
To escape, and in this, she is definitely giving burns out. Those are some burns towards Poe Dameron.
Yeah, she's kind of criticizing him along the entire way, but she's like a super, super smart, like kind of mathematically nerdy kid, and is able to do all these like intensely difficult calculations in her head.
Very similar to Tech.
Yes.
I don't know.
Oh, thanks for making a reference to the sad sacks, everybody. Alex and Molly. A Mun Imperial, apparently.
Thought it was a little bit like, yeah, it's going to be a kid. I mean, I think that some of the covers had come out. It just didn't seem that surprising to me. And just between the back.
Thanks for showcasing that Disney writers have no originality, and that you can see something coming from a mile away.
That Batch and The Mandalorian, and just, I know this is just a mini series, but like, okay, the hero protecting a kid on the run. I get it.
Yeah, but this kid like knows why they're special.
That's true.
And is proud of it.
Yeah, it definitely is like, I'm smart and I know it. I do like the Banshee of Bestine. That's the First Order ace pilot that is kind of the main villain of this series.
Really? A freaking pilot named Banshee is the... Also, what the hell are these troopers doing? Also, that literally looks like a female stormtrooper with a ponytail. Banshee of Bestine. Are we really running out of ideas for villains that they have to use literal Imperial pilots? Really?
This one they bump into Major Von Reg from Star Wars Resistance, and they.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for tying into an awful show that, by the way, is directly was made by Dave frickin' Filoni.
Heads a lot.
Yeah.
I did like that interaction quite a bit.
They're like, we don't know who's doing this. And he's like, well, I know, and I've done all this research already. Now you look dumb.
Yeah, very competitive.
Yeah, that was cool to see him pop up.
No other comics came out this week, but there was a new collection announced for Young Jedi Adventures called Training Sessions, which is going to be a collection of 3 stories.
And that's pretty much going to be it, because nobody gives a crap about this, except for the fact that, again, a show taking place within the woke republic. Okay, guys, I think that's going to do it for tonight. Who the hell cares? I certainly don't. Resistance equals toilet. Yes, it does. Okay, so that's all we have for tonight, folks. Glad that's over. Yes, I do. So, thanks everybody for tuning in to tonight's stream. I was more than happy to clown on a few people. And until next time, great stream. Was tired of the Sexplaineds. Good stream, Brandon. Thank you, Darth Ghostface. And thank you, Jason Todd's biggest glazier, for showing up. Love seeing a lot of new faces in the chat tonight. So remember to don't forget to tune in next time, and remember to always stay awesome. Good night, everybody.